Live. We live. The Chop Up Show is
We
live.
live at the Chop Up Show.
Let's get it right.
I feel like my lighting in here usually a little better, man. I don't know what's going on today.
Yeah, you look a little dark today. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. We here on a Wednesday night. What's good with y'all, man? Y'all come on in. We here on a Wednesday night. It's that makeup night. We told y'all we couldn't give y'all another week without the Chop Up, man. We cannot give y'all another week without the Chop Up. We here. Y'all come on in. And again, y'all know as y'all come in, make sure y'all say what's up.
What up, Nico?
Make sure y'all say what's up. Nico in the building.
This light, so I feel like I can ask right up in this room. That's what it is.
Jennifer was good. What's good?
Jennifer in this thing. What's going on with you? We in here. How y'all feel about seeing us on a Wednesday? Middle of the week. I know y'all like to get y'all week started with the Chop Up, but you know we had to move some things around. But we in here. Jada in the building. Facebook showing up. You know what I'm saying? What's good with Facebook in here? Jada said she in this house. Aiden in the building.
What's good?
Baby Brianna, baby Oku, what's good with y'all?
Brandon, what's up?
Yeah, it's some interesting dialogue today.
What's up? Yeah, man. I feel like we
staying in the vein of Black history.
It's a little, you know. I feel like we're going a little unorthodox. So it's gonna be a little different. But shout out to everybody tuned in. You know what I'm saying? What up, Nico, Brianna, baby Oku, and Jada?
Yeah.
Y'all excited for the show tonight, man? It's going down.
Hopefully, y'all been enjoying y'all Black History Month.
Yeah, you know, it's been.
Yeah, I mean, been able to get some gems. Jamar's in the building. Noel is in the. Noel is in the building. Damn.
Piggy Promise Life. Good evening.
Yes.
Man, we getting into some things.
Look, we talking about. Well, first, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about some of that opt-in, opt-out dialogue that certain people are having. We're gonna talk about how certain people feel about Black History Month. That's what it needs to be discussed because it's weird. Motherfuckers is weird out here.
Absolutely.
We're gonna talk about how people feel about Black History Month.
The weirdos, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think that February. Hey, I feel like now that we've been doing this show for a couple years, the month of February always has its way of showing the true colors of a lot of different people. You feel me? Shout out to the you know what I'm saying? Shout out to goddamn everybody like to show their ass uniquely in February.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes
it's because it's a weird month. February, a weird month. You know how Black people even say they even gave us the shortest month for our fucking history month.
Yeah, man.
Leap years, and it ain't a leap year. And then I know we dealing with what is it, Mercury retrograde? That shit going on. Wow! Shout out to my boy Blue in the building. Blue, and we gonna be talking about some of that some of the stuff we talked about in our debate. Blue, you know I'm gonna keep it going. Hey, and I'm a shout. And my boy Blue, we had a debate over there at Solar Vision Debate League. Shout out to Solar Vision Debate League. He actually dropped some knowledge that we're gonna get into when we talk about that more undercover Black history, the shit that they don't really put on the mahogany Hallmark cards. You feel me?
Devin and Brittany, what's up?
Hey.
Pretty, what's going on?
What's the word, Toya?
What you mean?
What's the word in general?
Not nothing. Ready to kick off the show if y'all want to.
Yeah.
Make
before we kick off the show, though, man, just want to say a big RIP to one of the OU alumni, debate legends. You know what I'm saying? Nick Watts. You feel me? To you and your family. Hope everything is going good with the Watts family. My condolences and prayers go out to the family. Definitely. And just definitely big shout out Nick Wyman and everything you've been able to do, everything you was able to do. You know what I'm saying? Definitely won't be, you know what I'm saying, won't be forgotten.
Yeah. I mean, the OU debate squad, I mean, the debate world in general lost a for real champion. You know what I'm saying? Lost a for real champion. So shout out to his family. You know what I mean? Just all of my debate people, my Oklahoma debate people, you know what I'm saying? Like, love everybody. Who want to bring it in?
I'll bring it in. And shout out to Blue. What's good? We about to have a good evening tonight. We about to kick.
Let's get it. You know we got to start the show like we always start the show.
You know it.
Let's go.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I drive. In the city, we gon' slide. Bet I be there pronto.
What's going on? What's going down? What's really good? Y'all know what it is. I'm happy y'all tuned in with me. It is the Chop Up. You know what's going on. My name is Toya G. I'm here. It's a Wednesday night. I'm glad y'all tapped in with us and slid off a Monday. Pushed us back a couple of weeks, but you know we couldn't let a whole week pass without getting it in with y'all and really talking about, you know, what's going on around us, how we feel about it, doing a little vibe check real quick. And I'm with some real good people. Who else I got here on the show?
Shout out to all y'all watching, all y'all here with us on a Wednesday. It's the Political Plug, Damo. Somber evening, you feel me? It's a chill evening. You know, usually we be a little bit turned up. We a little bit more chill tonight. But still very, very interesting dialogue that we have. Again, we keeping this Black History Month energy going right now so we could carry it on with us through the rest of the year. You feel me? So let's get it.
Hey, and shit, you know what time it is, man. Trying to stay sucker free in the land of lollipops. It's your boy George Lee, aka Conscious Lee. Don't forget the Lee. GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com where you can find me at, man. Education is elevation. Y'all know it's edutainment time.
Period. All right. I just came up with a snapshot off the top of my head. We're about to jump into it just because I feel like we should, right? Especially since it's Black History Month. I feel like everybody's gonna have something, especially if you're Black, to tap in, particularly if you're Black. I only want your opinion if you're Black to chime in on this. But I'm gonna drop you some facts real quick before I ask y'all's opinion. So my unknown or uncommonly known Black history fact of the day, right?
Okay.
Is that every Black History Month actually has a theme, right? Every Black History Month actually has a theme. And I had no idea about this until like last week. That
do you see my face?
Yeah,
I know it is either.
There's a different theme. For example, last year's theme was African Americans in the vote, which marked the centennial of the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote, as well as the 150-year anniversary of the 15th Amendment, which granted Black men the right to vote. So you got some intersectional themage happening last year, especially with it being an election year, where that Black History Month was committed to Black people in the vote and exploring those two interesting dynamics as they intersected. So I'm pretty sure y'all wondering what the theme for this year is, right?
Before we get to that,
Okay.
Who decide this shit?
Yeah.
So let's see.
Like who are the
Yeah, baby Oku asked the same question. Who decides what the theme is for the year?
Let me help you. Since its official inception in 1976, Black History Month has grown to become an event celebrated by cultural institutions such as theaters, libraries, and museums, as well as by corporations like Google and Target. Social media countries like Instagram also participate through initiatives like X, Y, and Z. Every year, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, ASALH, again, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, chooses a theme around which to center their Black History Month celebrations. And they're a national institution or a national association, which is why they set that tone. And so, baby, that answered the question. Now, the theme for this year, y'all ready for that now?
Yeah.
Okay, the theme for this year is, the theme for 2021 is the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity. This theme explores both the African diaspora, i.e. our family everywhere else that's not necessarily immediately around us, and the spread of Black families across the United States, right? But this also highlights why Black history can't possibly be just one month, because there are so many different themes, ideas, approaches we can kind of think about. So here's my question. I have two questions. One, how y'all feel about the themes? Y'all think that's a pretty cool thing? You think it's kind of unnecessary? How do you feel about learning this new piece of Black history?
And I got mixed feelings on it a little bit. I think that I can see how it's trying to make it where we have a diversified understanding of Black history. If we can have different themes every year, but the fact that we don't know about the themes kind of make it where it's kind of ineffective. But also too, it kind of just exposes how we try to push in a whole bunch of complex history, politically, socially, economically, that concerns Black history into 1 month. And just thinking about the Black family, it's like, hey, politically, socially, economically, there are different implications of the Black family and different people that have been able to contribute to that, as well as different impacts that's hit the Black community or the Black family, politically, socially, economically. So, you know, economically, yeah.
You know, why ain't niggas organized? You know what I'm saying?
Well, elaborate.
I feel like I ain't really got past the point that Black history done had themes. Like I done had 30 something Black histories. Like this is like my 33rd Black history, and literally I'm just now finding out that we got themes to this.
Yeah.
Like what was the one on my birthday when I was, you know what I'm saying? Like the year I was born, what was the thing? You feel me? Those are the questions that I got to ask.
Listen.
I think the theme is cool. Like I do think, you know, it kind of gives an insight into like what we kind of feel like is necessary or what needs to be discussed. But I'm like, damn, bro, like it's so many themes that we didn't miss out on and conversations that we didn't miss out on because nigga shit, we still talking about I Have a Dream speech and just, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, to me, it says, and shout out to my best friend in the comments, we stuck in the house with these people, might as well have a family theme. I had no idea about that. And I think the family term prompts increased community relations, maybe. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm a fan. And I think the thing I am the most remiss about is the fact that we didn't know about these things before, because especially for niggas who like, all right, we get it, we know, and have become bored with the rigmarole, like they, after, you know, the first couple of days of Black History Month, they take their foot off of whatever the proverbial gas is and just really stop celebrating meaningfully. This could be another opportunity outside of Kwanzaa to really be thinking about the different appendages and the different ways that, you know, Blackness shapes our everyday. I think it's really dope that there are themes. I think it's dope that this is a family theme. I think a lot of what George was saying is a lot of different ways people think about and approach it. That's why you just take a theme and run with it. If I give you one big umbrella term like family, we get to talk about trans families. We get to talk about houses, you know, that exist in queer families where, you know, everything y'all seen on polls or whatever, those are families, those are units, those are non-nuclear family units that we have historically built and created as a result of our families being obliterated and torn apart. Like we have always Jimmy rigged and configured our families, right? Our families have different levels and different ages and different backgrounds and different needs and different time periods and different bloodlines.
Agreed.
I said that's your cousin, you know what I'm saying? So that's your auntie, and your auntie said sit the fuck down, like sit down. Auntie said sit down, right? Like it's what it is. And so I think that component is beautiful. Here's how I wanted to write out this chop about these things, now that we've kind of shared our feelings about them. The theme is family. I'll read it again more proper. The theme for this year is the Black family representation, identity, and diversity, which explores African diaspora and the spread of Black families across the United States. So my question to y'all, and of course to the chat, is what is your favorite thing about being in a Black family? What is your favorite thing about Black families?
Okay, look at us using the theme, being a part of something. Okay.
A certain family figure and how they play into the Black family. It could be a characteristic of the Black family in general. Just like when you take a step back and look at the Black family, what do you appreciate about the Black family?
I appreciate. I was raised in a very matriarchal family. You feel me? And so, I appreciate the perspective that gives you as specifically as a young man, especially strong-minded, strong-willed women. You feel me? Like, you know, I'd have had so many important women in my life that every type of stereotype that you could think of like the type of grandma, the type of aunt, you know what I'm saying, the type of cousin, the type of sister.
Right.
I had all of that. So I think it's giving me a very well-rounded understanding of myself, understanding of the world, emotions, communication, all type of shit, patience. You feel me? All type of shit. So like that. I mean, and a lot of brothers grow up in that type of environment. A lot of niggas be having like a lot of grandmas and a lot of aunts. And a lot of times you hear a conversation about how that was bad, you know what I mean, or that was something that wasn't good for them. And so, but I think I can't really speak to nobody else's experiences, but because of the type of women that I was raised around or that raised me, you feel me? I mean, I've seen some of the strongest men, you know what I mean, like, you know, get them in line.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You know, so yeah, I feel like that was dope for me being a part of like my black family. Yeah,
definitely. Okay.
And for me, well, I think what the main thing that I like about the black family is the unique ways of how we able to construct our kinship, not only in our extended families, but also how we kind of trace our for like who we call family and why we call them family. And how when we have these complex ways of developing, you know what I'm saying, who we call family will come with that, you know what I'm saying? So I know that a lot of time in the black community, it's like we talk about having cousins. It's like, shit, you might not have no DNA tied to that person at all, but you will get on somebody's ass behind your cousin, you know what I'm saying? Or the ways that we construct extended family, and it be, you feel me, just based off of, you know, me and Toya 30 years old, but shit, our uncle and auntie went together when we was in the middle school, and because they went together in the middle school, you feel me, we forever cousins. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the way that I feel like a lot of the ways that we construct kinship in the black community really get, I feel like, dehumanized. I don't say dehumanized, get delegitimized. Because the ways in which we construct our family, in the way that, you know what I'm saying, the way that we do families, even when you think about, you know what I'm saying, somebody in the household having, you know what I mean, five kids, you know what I'm saying, 5 different baby daddies, and maybe this baby daddy full of shit, you know what I'm saying.
Look, we don't know nothing
baby
about
daddy,
no
you know
half,
what I'm saying, stand-up guy. But that baby daddy don't take care of the other, you know what I'm saying, the other child, that baby ain't, you know what I'm saying, ain't shit. So I think that this, thinking about the unique familiar ties in our community, that's what I really appreciate in our community.
Hey, because that's big. Ain't no half brothers and sisters. Nigga, if we got either the same mama or the same daddy,
you my brother.
You are my brother or my sister.
Yeah, we don't play that half sibling. I feel like even that though. I feel like even in college, I've had conversations about siblings, and I've heard like different people. I've learned from different people from upper class almost. You know what I'm saying? Mainly all black folks be like, we don't play that half stuff. But I have met other black people from different social economic backgrounds that be like, yeah, my half sister, we have the same dad, but it's like what?
What? Like, yeah, you be your sister?
You my sibling or no?
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
And it's then sometimes like if my brother and my sister got a cousin, that's my cousin to like.
That's my cousin too.
Like, I know the daddies don't shake out and we over here on this side, but all of that, you know what I mean? Like it just that really is how your network get big quick.
And look, your mama's best friends, kids. Yeah. Your mama's best friends, kids. Y'all done took baths together, goddamn it. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like it's life like that. You feel me? So yeah, shout out to the black family, man. We get you know, kind of framed in a fucked up way, but the type of ties that we create, you know what I'm saying, outside of that more traditional basic ass understanding, man, that shit is to be admired, bro.
Facts. You said cause what?
Nah, I just said period.
Oh, period.
Yeah.
I want to jump into these comments real quick before we slide out of this and get into one of the chops. Pinky Promise for Life or Pinky Promise Life said the food, and I'm gonna have to say, amen. You know what I'm saying? You get a whole bunch of cooking ass niggas together, and it's just a my oh my, what a time shall be had. You can pick a celebration, a Christmas, a Thanksgiving, somebody's birthday, a baby shower, a funeral. It does not matter. Niggas are going to eat, and they're going to eat well, and we all appreciate those things. I promise you, ain't nothing like funeral chicken, ain't nothing like funeral macaroni. We hate the repast had to happen. But while we mourning, I will take
that chicken is gonna be fire. That chicken is gonna be fire as we move.
That chicken is something else. Definitely, I saw the village a whole lot represented in here. Definitely, just all the components of that and what it looks like, from the cousinship to just the family ship to the non-nuclear. You know, this cousin, second cousin sleeping on the couch. Your auntie, you don't know why she moved in, but she just living over there. Your uncle stay in the basement. He ain't left 10 years.
That auntie that you cut up at her house.
This the one though. Shout out to mine, because I got one auntie. My dad was an only child. My mom had one sister. Auntie spot was the kicker spot.
Yeah,
her car. My auntie know at this point, but her car was the first car I would enjoy riding in. So shout out to them aunties. And look, and we see a lot of the cool aunties in here, man. I'm telling you, like, look, the cool auntie, know your mom tripping. Look, we got a cool auntie in the chat. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So shout out to that. Look, I'm the cool uncle that live in California. You feel me? Like all my nieces and nephews back in the Midwest. I'm the cool uncle that live in Cali with the big dog.
To me, it said the alternative safe spaces, like it may not be mama, but auntie chill, or church ain't it, but the youth director is the homie, so it's good. So it's just like, you know, either way it goes, the tentacles of the family is always gonna be there. Let's see, a couple other things. I grew up with white people, but I would have liked to have someone around me with some sort of shared experience. That's something that too. You know, before you turn your nose at the family, since we're talking about family, you know, some of what you might consider alternative Black people, consider that how they grew up, where they lived. You expect them to have some type of context or some type of understanding for what you have coded as Black enough or whatever. And you got a lot of people who just ain't never lived like that. They just they Black and they Black ass skin, just really people just doing what they learning what they learn. You know what I'm saying?
For real. But Nico said the fact that we can all understand what y'all saying is the perfect example. And you know what we call that? Affect. Yeah. Yes, we are all partaking.
Affect.
Yeah, we are all partaking in a similar emotion, an emotional experience.
Smoke my first blunt with my auntie.
Look, shit, that was the first time I smelled weed, but we ain't gonna get into all of that.
Grandma said something interesting. They changing the code on the show. They're doing some weird shit. Past becoming more common with the upcoming generations. I teach elementary, and they often identify siblings as half or step siblings, and that's new. That's the new kids. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was just, y'all know who y'all is. Y'all know who y'all with. Everybody's everybody. And then the last comment I'll look at is Nico's. It says, no, we're gonna look at Malik said Nico's. Malik said, I smoked my first blunt with my auntie. Amen. For that's who's supposed to put you on. That's who's supposed to put you on.
Hey, just think about it though. You know what I'm saying? If you had to smoke your first blunt, why wouldn't it be with somebody, you know what I'm saying, that care about you, that got an answer for somebody? Ain't no, you know what I mean? Your auntie got an answer to your mama, your daddy. Yeah, they ain't gonna put you in no fucked up situation. You gonna be good.
I ain't gonna incriminate nobody in the Green family, but yup. And Nico said also, we cannot lie like one of our cousins. We cannot like one of our cousins, but let somebody touch him though in his hands. You know what I'm saying? Violence. So we choosing violence.
Hands. Shout out to all my cousins out there, man, and we know exactly what we talking about.
Hey.
Hands.
So on the way out, this is what I want to encourage y'all to do. I'm gonna take my own advice too going into this weekend, especially it's love weekend. You know what I'm saying? Pick the day before if you want to make it weird on the 14th. But call y'all grandma if y'all still got one. Call her, call your papa. Reach out to your auntie and them. Go holler at a cousin you ain't talked to in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Sit down with your little brother, your little sister, and spend time with them. Everybody put your phone up and just vibe or something like that. But do something meaningful, you know, in terms of your own personal Black family. And then if you dare to put yourself in the position to extend yourself, do something kind, do something meaningful, do something familial towards some other Black people that maybe you ain't kin to, maybe in your bloodline, but you just on some brother sister type shit, on some family, on some kinfolk, on some non-binary sibling type things, like a brother or a sister, but you want to make a connection with somebody Black in your life, but build and invest in that family, you know, and vibe with the theme. It's not a bad one for this year to work on the family and notions of the diversity, the representation, and the understanding of how we got here as Black people and been building strong families ever since we hit these coasts. Yeah, that's the Snapchat.
That's a Snapchat, beautiful Snapchat for you.
Hey man, yeah, you know what? We're gonna call this the education chop because y'all know that education is elevation. Goddamn it. funny part about it is, even though we call education the great equalizer country, we have ways of where education gets to expose a lot of different ways that power, you know what I'm saying, is used to, I really feel like, pacify. That's what I want to use. Pacify a lot of different people and their fragility and comfort zones. You know what I'm saying? We know that over the past week, there was a lot of controversial news surrounding what happened in Utah. But we know that breaking news that happened here a couple of days ago, the Utah school that made Black History Month optional, it reversed itself. You know what I'm saying? The Maria Montessori Academy. It's a charter school in Northern Ogden. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, you feel me, everybody in Ogden. You know what I'm saying? We know some people down there in Ogden. Allow for parents to opt out their students when it comes to the Black history curriculum. We know that after an outcry and discussion with the parents, though, they changed the course. My question to y'all, though, is how do y'all feel about them even considering having the option to opt out of Black History Month?
All right, you was glitching up just a little bit. So ask that question again. How do we feel about what?
How do you even feel about the idea of them considering making a Black History Month optional or not? The curriculum, Black History Month curriculum being optional. How y'all feel about that?
I think it's sad and it's sobering because it is proof that our very existence is still negotiable. And here's where it gets scary: people who are in control of knowledge production, and knowledge replication. Right. So it's one thing to not want to talk about it or to not change or upgrade the history, but to make it some plug and play shit is just like wow to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really scary is that nobody's questioning if people are able to do this, the credentials to educate people. But I guess we live in a democracy. We live in a free will. Every district is different. Every state is different, so on and so forth. But it's just the negotiability of niggas' existence. Like I can literally be like, are we talking about Black people or not? The whole vice president of the United States is a Black woman. What the fuck is this a conversation for? Like, it's just really mind blowing in that regard. So it's sad, I think is what, and I mean, outside of it being obviously predictable.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of them things where we live in a country where they're trying to take it out. They're trying to not even just opt out, but just erase it. I mean, you can't look past how we still got to negotiate whether or not history textbooks should include the word slavery as opposed to, servant. You feel me? So, I think this is one of those white ways of attempting to, kind of play that like toe the line a little bit, like where it's like, we're gonna have Black History Month, but if it makes you uncomfortable, not and this is where George talks about this a lot. Specifically, is racial. This is where racial illiteracy come in, because bruh, if you think Black history would make anybody uncomfortable, what are you putting on? What do you think Black history is? Yeah, you feel me? What is your understanding of Black history to assume that it's like when you post something on Facebook and the Facebook algorithm picks it up as something that could be considered graphic, and so Facebook asks you, do you want to see this graphic image or not before it actually just show up on your shit? That's that's what happened. It's like, do you want this graphic shit? Do y'all want this real shit, or do y'all want to just kind of still live in?
Show your periphery lacking because your context is so trash that you just really able to take the meaning of something and bastardize and manipulate it into whatever little confirmation bias you already got.
Yeah, and so, I mean, for me, I don't get mad at the things these people do anymore. Primarily just because it's you really can't surprise me. I mean, especially with the things that we've seen and witnessed and just in real life, it ain't nothing that can for real surprise me no more. So it's more so one of them things where it's what they will call a watershed moment. They've learned, they've grown, and there'll be better liberals tomorrow. I
guess, and I don't disagree. I guess my question is not necessarily, or the question that's on my mind is not necessarily how to feel about it. Like, because right? Like a lot of people in the comments are saying America has been trashed from day one. There was never an intent to emphasize or care about or to center Black history or to acknowledge that Black history is American history. All those things I agree with. I am more interested in the point. Is it are you just literally like an angry, rabid racist and you just don't give a fuck about Black people? Or is it that like you are, and not like the explanation, like,
right.
Like, are you just ashamed? Because I feel like that's a whole lot of why white people don't be wanting to talk about slavery. Or like the worst thing, like I was telling George this, and y'all tell me, I'm gonna test this theory with y'all in the comments. Right? The worst thing you can like call a white person is racist, right? Like they're like, oh, like that will fuck up a white person's day. It will tear up a white person's day if you're like, you're racist. Like they play about that shit. They do not want that on them. Like, no, you keep that over there. I rebuke that. Right?
And we're talking about, and you're clearly talking about like the average white person.
Average white person, the average liberal white person who wants to care, who wants you to themselves like they care,
who sees themselves as a good person.
And look, this is also y'all tell A, tell me if that's true. But B, I said this is the same way. You know what a nigga can't stand to be called?
What?
A nigga can't stand to be called weird. That is some.
I see that. Yeah.
They like, what you mean? Like I'm mainstream, nigga. I'm normal.
Look, niggas don't like being called weird to the point where it'll fuck up their whole lifestyle. Like niggas will go completely emo, start wearing. You feel me? We know how it was back in the day when niggas had the big parachute pants and
I feel like whatever you call it weird for, you're gonna over-identify with it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it seems like typically, whatever you call weird for, you're gonna over-identify with it. And I just know when it comes to history, I'm just thinking that because we're having this conversation, I'm thinking that an old high school definition of politics and how we talk that politics is the who gets what, when, where, and how. And to me, history exposes, you feel me, the who gets what, when, where, how, which, you know what I'm saying, to me, showing you how history is always inherently political. Because usually the people that's writing the history, they are typically the people that gets to determine who gets what, when, where, and how. And in most instances, they the ones that's getting the what and getting the how and getting all that. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we get to just have this option, to get the conversation going though, what I'm curious of though is what would it mean for Black folks to have the option to opt out of white history?
I think
what would it be
for a Black opt out of learning white history?
What would it mean? What would it mean for Black people to have the option to opt out of white history?
I don't think they would. That is scary because where you remove one thing, you feel that. So it's not scary for me, but it's scary for the white establishment because niggas are inquisitive. They are the creators of everything. They are history, right? They are the groundwork. And so that creates a world where when niggas can opt out of white history, they just go start learning about themselves, which is Black nationalism. That's the Black nation building. Those are the pieces that you put. So you can't. Like, this is very dangerous because we are still scholars. We're still historians. We're still griots in our own right? So we're going to share who we are and what we do. And then people are going to want to study it more. And you know what happens when people want to study a subject a lot? Niggas build schools. And then when niggas build schools, like they create classes. And then they have a curriculum and you elevate through classes. And then people automatically are like, well, a lot of people want to do this. They build schools. And then from schools, they build multiple schools and then different levels of those schools. And then they get credibility to those schools. It starts to create self-sustainability and self-determination because niggas control the input and output of information, the flow inwards and outwards of where the info goes.
I think that's an amazing point to you because
definitely that's why my head is bobbing like, yep.
Yeah, because look, that feeling is what's key, right? Like, because like you said, it's not like, oh, well, damn, we ain't got no history to learn. We just not gonna know nothing. It's like, nah, people are still gonna want to know. Opting out of white history just means that how we got to this point, the narrative that's associated with mainstream history isn't gonna dictate it. So to be honest, our shit gonna start, like, your history gonna start in Africa. Like that's where it's gonna begin. Now we are on the internet where a lot of people argue. Go ahead, George.
I was about to say, I think that at first when I first posed the question, I was thinking of like some Dr. John Henry Clark. When I first got, you know what I'm saying, into this little woke journey, I watched a couple of Dr. John Henry Clark videos, and he talked about how if you want to learn about yourself, you feel me, you gotta learn the history of who conquers you. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other. You feel me? But I think thinking about it more deeply, I feel like when Utah or when white people get the option to opt out of Black history, we know that is the absence of Black presence in the history. I think that when we talk about Black people being able to opt out of white history, that is not the absence or presence of white people. That is just Black folks being able to control the perspective or the narrative of how the presence of white people is represented and how it is valued. I think that is something very, very, very I find that very, very important to make the distinction of when we talk about being able to opt out of white history compared to white folks being able to opt out of Black history. Because you know that one of them means the literal absence of, while the other one means that the presence is there. But the question is, what is the positioning of that presence?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean,
hopefully,
because like when you talk about what those two things mean, like we're Black because of experience. You know what I'm saying? Like whiteness is like you said, white history is established based off of, you know what I'm saying, like who's not included, who was left out, right? Who was in who's menial, who was in the footnotes, you know what I'm saying, at the bottom of the shit, right? Black history is a story. That's the difference. You feel me? There's a narrative of a particular culture going through certain, you know what I'm saying, tumultuous experiences. And it's explained like even how we come to understand it. We came to understand the history of slavery through song, through story, through like word, like the word of mouth. Like it was more so like shit like children books of like Follow the Drinking Gourd type shit. That shit will always stick with me because that was one of the first like lessons of slaves or enslaved Africans running away. You feel me? You follow the drinking gourd, you follow the North Star. That'll get you to freedom. I said that was what, second grade?
Yeah.
You feel me? That's how we learn. Like, but
94.
White history is you indoctrinated into it. You feel me? Because there's so much shit that we'd have to come back and be like, wait, what? No, that's just not true.
Yeah.
You feel me? Think about that. Like it's shit like Columbus Day that we've celebrated since children. That literally we had to come back to be like, bro, what did y'all sell us? Like that ain't it. Go ahead, Toya.
Well, no, I was actually thinking this question makes me think of another question, which is because I think, you know, should we decide to delink ourselves from white history, opt out of it? I think naturally start to learn more about ourselves, disidentify with a whole bunch of bullshit because it no longer is the master narrative, and we create a different master narrative right then. All of a sudden, and somebody said in the comment, I think it was Infinite Blink, said our history tells me we should be looking toward our future, and I think we're able to do that, right? Better when we are not, we're completely divested from white information. What this made me think about though is what non-white junior partners would do and the craziness that it would create in their life if they were to opt out of white history because of a couple of things. One, you opt out of white history. I'm not saying they won't opt into their own history, right? But Blackness shapes and is formative of so much of American history. You're going to have to fill it in with niggas somehow, right? Like everybody, I mean, and vice versa, right? For us to truly understand ourselves, for example, we would have to sit back and really start to understand the relationship we have with indigenous people, for example, right? So to start to understand how land and body and commodity and things happened in the relationships between those and triangulate that shit, you would have to, right? To really have a full scope of the picture. But what it would force a lot of non-white people of color, BIPOC, Black and indigenous people of color, or indigenous people of color, it would force them to have to come to terms with their proximity to Blackness, right? Yeah. To understand that their subjugation is an offset, an off-put, a weaker version of the anti-Blackness that we've been experienced, right? That the system has learned how to be fucked up to them because of the cheat codes that anti-Blackness gave it, right? And
yeah,
so
I feel like we just illustrating. I bet Toya may cut you off.
No, you good.
But yeah, I feel like we're doing a damn good job of just illustrating the nature of anti-Blackness and how we see that a lot of people or a lot of the world is structured in opposition to Blackness and Black people, where a lot of their understandings of what is it's literally defined in opposition of what it means to be black or what it means to identify blackness. So to me, it seems like if we talk about the absence of black, the absence of this narrative of anti-blackness, to me, it seems like it's gonna have a big old impact of how we get to learn about the world around us, how it was developed, how it was structured, even the way we talk about violence. You know what I'm saying? This is what I people game on social media. Motherfucker say something. The word conquering. And the word conquer coming from a white person when they're talking about indigenous people, we're talking about black people, it's something that's good. Something that's, you know what I'm saying, domination. Now it's good. It's like a basketball. It's conquered. And we, you know, we were on defense, we intercepted and conquered the ball and ran it over. It's like that's how they talk about it almost. You feel me? To me, it's like they strip it of the unethical, demonic, devilish nature of like, fam, you talking about conquering or domination of 400 years, rape and pillage and dehumanization and a whole bunch of shit now that you make against the law and illegal. I'm almost with y'all talking right now. I think that tomorrow I'm gonna do me a video about the arbitrary nature of criminality and how that's Black history.
The arbitrary nature of what?
Criminality. The arbitrary nature of how they structure what it means.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Niggas is always seen as being criminal.
Without a doubt, and I think what Toya was just speaking to too was coming to grips with, I mean, Black people being at the foundation of everything that's in this motherfucker. We intersect with everything. There's no place that anybody who's touched, like any other culture or any other people who've touched down here, there's no place where we haven't intersected. Either as and to be for real, either as allies or enemies. Because when you live in a place like America, there is no middle ground. You're either against racism or you allow it, which you might as well be for it. To allow racist violence, to allow racist ideology, to adhere yourself to anti-blackness and that type of shit, like that makes you an enemy to Black people. Yeah. Period. Right. I mean, and when I say enemy to Black people, I'm saying like that's where people adopt the anti-Black prejudices that they understand about Black people. And that's where that shit becomes dangerous. So when we talk about understanding that intersection, like there is implications that come with that. Like that, and that's why dealing with real Black history becomes difficult, because you have to deal with where you stand in terms of either further oppressing by adding to the anti-Blackness, or what you have done or what your people have done to push back against that shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, in this conversation about banning Black history, this little set about to get into, this person is looking to do exactly that. Ban Black history. Black GOP candidate from Michigan vows to cancel Black History Month if elected as governor of Michigan. I really ain't even got no questions. I mean, I really ain't even just got here. Like we all know, like we know that it's all skin folk ain't kin folk, and we know that suckers and bootlickers come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. Yeah. And shit. Something we learned recently. Sometimes your ass can be so far left, you right. You know what I'm saying? You really on the right side. You claim it. You know what I mean? But that's another thing for another subject. My question for y'all is: what are your initial thoughts in 2021 that a Black GOP candidate is vowing to cancel Black History Month during Black History Month as a part of his announcing of running for governor?
Go ahead, Damo.
I mean, it's like I said, it's goofy clown shit. Like this is what opting out of Black history look like. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the type of shit where like and it's crazy because the irony is lost on these people. Like the fact that you're saying, you know, we should celebrate American history. We should have a month where we celebrate American history. Yet when you look at every school curriculum in the United States, American history is required learning. You have to learn American history to graduate from school. But because let's take it out of the context of like the celebration of the month. Let's just take it. Let's put it in the context of valuing the information. Right, we've devalued Black history to the point where we have to put it on a month. That's the best we can get. American history is required learning to get the credentials you need to go anywhere in life.
Yeah.
Even though it ain't gonna have nothing to do with you living your life. You better be able to name some of the Constitution. You better be able to know what happened in 1776. You better be able to know who wrote the Bill of Rights. You better be able to know all of that shit if you want to succeed in life. Not just enjoy a history month, but if you want to move forward in a way to where we think you a valuable human being.
Absolutely.
Because y'all know how you people, y'all know how the world treat people without high school diplomas. So I mean, like that's why the irony is lost on these people. I mean, we can literally just sit back and laugh at the ignorance. And I mean, and to see black people kind of espouse white privilege like this, it's like, nigga, like this movie's like agents of white supremacy. Like, you don't even get the white privilege. You just an agent of some shit that got you looking stupid.
So, Jay Mentor, shout out to Odie in the comments. Was good with you? Good evening. Jay Mentor said he's foreign, so that explains a lot. And I would be interested in what ethnic or even cultural context he's coming from, because I definitely didn't know that part about him. But I think
his name is Austin Sheen, and then based off his last name, it's like, yeah, I don't know where you from.
Yeah, I mean, but regardless, right? I think niggas that blow mine are the ones that are so just quick to desire to get to post-raciality. And what I mean by that is, this world where racism and anti-blackness is just you don't even have to be like the police are, like, you do need to be like the police are terrible and anti-blackness is systematic and structural and racism. Like, I want that. But nigga, just not to even leave no space for the history. Like, are you so beyond race that you think we should live in a society and live in a world where we don't even take the time out to acknowledge it at all? Like, that trips me out. Like, what reality, what alternative reality, what alternate existence are you tapped into right now? And so those people scare me. I'm gonna be honest. Those people make my nerves bad. I don't think if you have identified with the GOP or conservatism in any way, you no longer surprise me. Right? But even some things don't surprise me, but they still scare me. But I keep that shit over there, because is it contagious? I don't know what got in you, what got on you, how you got here, but I don't want no parts of that shit. So it's weird.
You know what this remind me of? Like, when when my wife get an attitude with me, like when I done did wrong, it don't matter what the fuck I say. Like, it don't matter what the fuck I do. Like, I could be breathing and it's like please, I need some space. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's literally, I feel like that's what we've gotten specifically with the grand old party with Republicans. We've literally gotten to the point where it doesn't matter what it is. If it has to do with black people, oppose it. Even the most trivial shit. The fact that they are willing to say, well, what about celebrating white history? Motherfucker, even if it comes down to a particular like finding up a time where we celebrate things, right? We celebrate the 4th of July. Most people ain't gotta go to work. Celebrate that every fucking year. Thanksgiving, like, every holiday that we have is a moment of remembrance for white history.
Okay, so what are we doing? People are starting to get Juneteenth off, and they're thinking about making it a national holiday. Kwanzaa. Like, do we need a month that we have other opportunities throughout the year? What about those other celebrations?
What you said? What?
What about those other celebrations? Like, you're saying, like, but their retort or response would be, but you have Juneteenth, for example, but you have all these other. Man,
you ain't even know what Juneteenth was until, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is niggas really talking about? You didn't know what Juneteenth was.
I don't know. I just think it's silly. I'm thinking of counter arguments, right? Just kind of on both sides of it, just kind of being the who nobody wants to be the devil, the devil's advocate or whatever. But we all know it's bullshit, and I really hope that those cities and people there, black, white, and everybody in between, stand up and fight for fucking history. Stand up and fight for knowledge and facts. I really hope that people shout him down, protest him, do whatever needs to be done, just in the name of factuality. You don't have to care to just want objective fact to exist. You don't have to be invested in it. You don't have to try to protect it. You don't have to pass it down to your generations. But there's nothing wrong with saying that section of the library should exist, or that should be in that like in whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
man,
it's okay, Pretty Jackson. We're not gonna judge you. We're not gonna judge you.
You
ain't the only one, goddamn it.
It's a fat ass conservative contradiction. Because the same conservatives that say we should not tear down the statues because we can't change history is the same conservatives that turn around and say we don't need to celebrate Black history because we don't need to get into that history. Make it make sense.
Period.
Can you not change history, or can you change it? Because it sounds like to me, y'all think y'all can change it when it comes to Black history.
No, but they're ashamed of it. Do you realize how much power it takes from white people to admit as much, like, to the things that they actually did? Like, it ain't even be like admit y'all mean or admit y'all bad. Like, the nitty gritty details of what white people will have to comp to, either directly doing or being direct benefits of.
Man,
like to have a real honest conversation with white people about the way that generational things like nepotism, things like generational, like to really talk to them about why they are who they like, that would blow the top off some white people. Like that will fuck everything up. And so they can't handle that. That's why I really think honestly got truth to shame. That's why I went in on the notion that calling somebody racist is the worst thing you can do, because they are just, we did that?
Yeah.
Two people?
I mean, or even just a shallow attempt to distance themselves from it. Well, that was in the past. Nobody alive was responsible for. Shut up. Like, yeah.
Stupid. Believe.
Yeah. That's it, George.
That's it, man. Hey, this how I feel like what we know is the curriculum in education tells us a lot of what's going down. We know that for you to be seen as a law-abiding citizen, for you to be seen as a knowledgeable citizen in America, you have to have mastery of white and European curriculum of what they've been able to accomplish and what they've been able to do in terms of contributing to society.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What we also know is that you can go all the way through school and not know a goddamn thing about Black history and still be seen as just as knowledgeable, just as all this stuff. So it shows you how, when it comes to what history, what education is valued in America, how white supremacy is really what it is, how white supremacy has its way of being kind of watered down and sugared up, you feel me, and pushed where it's always made palatable and consumable. And you ain't even got to sell white hood, so you ain't even got to burn up no crosses in nobody's yard. All you got to do is be able to have that, the valuing and hyper valuing of, you know what I'm saying, this history over that history. And that's the education chop.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, to go ahead and close it out, we can take this last 10 minutes. And we're gonna call this one. I think this will be a conscious chop, because we're trying to wake y'all up. So this is gonna be a conscious chop. Every year we talk about the whitewashed history. Particularly on TikTok, it's a whole movement by, you know what I'm saying, by some of the bigger Black TikTokers to unwhitewash history, right? And I want us to aid in those efforts. I want us to kind of get down into, I mean, what I'm calling the banned Black history, because too often we hear the same stories over and fucking over again. We hear about Dr. King. I mean, even when it comes to Malcolm X, a lot of the same rhetoric. We hear the juxtaposition between the nonviolence and violence and all of the other rhetoric and all of that bullshit. But I want to take this time to get deep into the shit. We get into some real shit, right? And let's talk about banned Black history facts. Now I'm gonna start, because a part of what sparked this for me was a debate that I had on Solar Vision Debate League. Shout out to the league on YouTube. Y'all follow that league, Solar Vision Debate League. And it was about the civil rights movement and what the civil rights movement leveraged in order to achieve some of its greatest successes. And I learned something interesting researching for this debate.
What did you learn?
Now, I love me some Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, I thought Dr. King was Jesus. I'm not gonna lie.
MLK.
I felt like he died for our sins. Like, if you look at I mean, for real, if you look at the Jesus narrative, no bullshit. I as a kid, I actually thought that. But you know, again, as we got older, we started to learn a lot about Dr. King's history. Like, you know, he liked the sisters. You feel me? Like he liked to have fun. He was that type of whatever. But outside of just trying to crush the man character, recently doing this research that I went into and understanding what kind of pushed the Kennedy administration and then the Lyndon B. Johnson administration from not having a focus on civil rights to actually going forward to push that agenda. And what I learned is that whenever Dr. King was getting desperate, and the first time he deployed this tactic was in the letters from Birmingham jail in 1963. Mm-hmm. He said something interesting. Now, I want to be clear, just to give him full context of the letters from Birmingham jail. He was specifically talking about the thesis, the context of the letters. We're talking about the right for an oppressed people to peacefully protest. But he had an interesting passage there at the end where he was like not even low key dry snitching, but just straight up dirty macking, hating on
not
the
dirty macking,
bro. Dirty macking on the Nation of Islam and black nationalists.
To be clear,
Dr. King said straight up,
dirty macking. Just to be clear.
Okay, so for those who don't know,
no, hold on. Let Toya break this down.
I was about to explain what dirty macking is. Dirty macking.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
When one person is trying to shoot or spit game at somebody else, and in order to do that, to be successful, they feel the need to hate on a third party that ain't got nothing to do with what them two people got going on. Right?
Nothing to do with it.
Dirty macking is when you sit up here and you like, listen, you should talk to me because you know nigga ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna go nowhere. You gonna have you eating out of windows or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna got no gas. You're always gonna be having to drive. You do this, that, and the other. You ain't gotta worry about none of that when you come with me. That is what dirty macking is. And Dominique is saying
it's real simping.
Yeah, Dominique is saying that's what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did toward the Nation of Islam. Now, please take it away. I'm sorry.
Now, to be fair, right? Dr. King was just trying to do what he was trying to do, and I love Dr. King, but when he's telling white people, look, if y'all keep looking at me as the rabble rouser, as the person bringing the chaos, black people out of frustration will adopt the ideology of black nationalists and adhere to the message of the NOI. And out of Dr. King's own mouth, he said that will create what's called a racial nightmare.
Hey,
what Dr. King called black nationalists? Now, did he make other statements on, in that or whatever? He did, but the reason why I'm saying that statement was unique in terms of sparking the what eventually became the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is because that letter undoubtedly got into the hand of Attorney General at the time, Robert F. Kennedy. And Robert F. Kennedy actually echoed Dr. King's sentiment as he expressed to his brother, John F. Kennedy, the reason why they needed to go about a Civil Rights Act. And what he said specifically was, black people are pissed. I'm paraphrasing, but he said black people are pissed.
We mad. Sick and tired.
And it ain't even just in the South. It's all around the country. And so if we don't do something now, the message of black Muslims will become the prominent message that black people adhere to, and that could be violent. That showed the impact and influence of Dr. King's letters from Birmingham. And it also showed how he was his ability to frame the NOI as the dangerous alternative to his nonviolent approach was strategic, but it was a little bit of hating there, dog. It was a little bit of hating there, dog.
I think particularly when there was no, like, you just don't got a name drop. Like, he was doing good speaking in innuendos, right? Talking about just positivity versus
it's ultimate op shit too.
Yeah, just you don't have to be like the NOI specifically. Because here's the thing. Here's why I'm always cape for the NOI, right? Regardless of the fact that they probably don't like my little black queer ass, the fact that they probably don't like that I don't probably identify with a lot of things. Like, I've been to a mosque before. I've experienced some of the traditions. And I enjoyed a lot of it, but there were things of it I was like, I probably could not do this. But I also was not born into that particular faith and in that religion. So outside of perspective, I was good. But I went to a Nation of Islam mosque, went to a couple of times, had that experience outside of Tate. And I think the thing that I'm able to admire about it regardless of how I disidentify with it, is that they are the most organized body of Black people in this country. And the most organized, more importantly, the most organized body of Black people outside of the continent of Africa. Right? So when you look at the just utter capacity, the ability for them to get niggas on the same page, to communicate things, to get niggas to align with certain principles, their recruiting abilities to get people to ascribe to that, like it's dope. And so, I mean, it's dirty macking. And I think it's super, super hating because you don't have to hate on the NOI. They had some shit going on for them, and I think he was kind of underselling a little bit, bro.
Yeah, man. And you know, I want us to be able to kind of throughout, you know, each show be able to bring some information like this. I wanted to introduce this tonight just because I felt like it was on point in terms of just kind of stepping outside of how we understand Black history. I think the chop up is dedicated to opting out of white history. We dedicated to that. We dedicated to telling a story that's predicated on the history of the people themselves and not their oppressors. Period. I don't know what that does for algorithms for niggas to talk like that, but that's where we at. That's how we feel. We are opting out of white history. We are opting out of whiteness, and we are taking control of what it means to be Black, what Black looks like, what matters to Blackness, and what's important in terms of Black history.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we've been rocking out for an hour. So shit, y'all got any last words I want to say to the people?
Hey, do y'all own, like I said, y'all got homework already. I told y'all for this weekend, you learn that the theme for Black History Month is the family. So go out there and love on somebody, build some family, do some kinship. Jada said, shoot your friendship shot, make a new friend, put yourself out there and link up with another nigga that maybe you wouldn't have talked to or engaged with or, you know, lined up or linked up with before. Somebody in your life that you really been downplaying or underplaying and been giving no attention. Make them feel good, make them feel important. This is a good opportunity to do that in the name of Black History Month.
Real quick, I do want to say, you know, rest in peace to Clyde Kerr III. He was a Black police officer that died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. He was vocal about being a Black police officer on social media, and the narrative around him taking his own life had to do with that position. So shout out to him, his family, our condolences. We praying for y'all. Like I said, it's a heavy week, man. It's a lot of wild stuff going on, but you know, prayers to his family, condolences to his family.
And too, man, big shout out to my brother, you feel me, the Robinson family, you know what I'm saying? My niece passed this past week, you feel me? You know, definitely big shout out to, you know what I'm saying, my brother that happened this past couple of days, man. It's been a lot of things that's been transpiring these past couple of days, past couple of weeks. A lot of different people, you know what I mean, just been passing away and going through things. So just make sure y'all keep in mind, y'all never know what somebody's going through. You know what I'm saying? You never know what trials, tribulations they carrying on. You feel me? And you know what I'm saying? Definitely shout out to Dominique, man, my brother, and Sierra, you know what I'm saying, sister-in-law. Definitely big shout out to y'all, man.
All right, man. Let's go ahead. You can close it out too.
Hey, love to y'all. You know, stay connected, stay motivated, stay encouraged. More HD content coming to y'all soon. GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com. Make sure y'all following the Chop Up Show at the Chop Up Show on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe, so you're gonna never miss out on nothing. Because listen, we missed a Monday, but we came back on a Wednesday. You don't have to wonder if you don't see the post. You just it pops up on you, and now you tapped in with the show.
Make sure y'all hit that notification bell so y'all know when we go live.
And listen,
if you don't hit the bell, it ain't gonna pop up like it need to. Y'all go ahead and handle that.
If you miss something, if you didn't press the bell, and you like what the Chop Up Show has been up to, go to Spotify, go to the Apple Podcast, and just search for the Chop Up Show. If you miss something, just go get caught back up, do your homework, and come back and be ready for us every Monday night. Is when we usually do our thing at 7:30 Pacific, 9:30 Central. Last thing I want to say before we close it out for real is our Black History Month Awards is coming up. Y'all gonna start to see some more posts sizzling about that. Remember, we told y'all, go back and go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, listen to the intro about Black History Month on the Chop Up Show so y'all can get ready for the awards. Come up with y'all choices, y'all picks, all of that. It's gonna be amazing. We're not done celebrating this month. You shouldn't be either. So make sure you stay tapped in with us. And that's that.
Also, George actually has a Black History History of Black History Month lecture on Zoom that's coming up on the 21st. So y'all be prepared for that. More information on that will be coming out as well. And so yeah, man, we keeping busy. We keeping busy informing the people. So y'all be easy. Y'all stay tuned. We're gonna close this thing out the same way that we bring it in, and we out this thing. Y'all be easy.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I drive.